Welcome, gentlemen, to the Loose Dads podcast.
Hello and welcome to Loose Dads from Dadsnet. My name's Jim and I am here with another show featuring three other blokes and us setting the world to rights, helping dads with their problems on the big question. We've got a game that we're going to play a bit later on, Parenting Would You Rather, and we're going to have a look and see how the news is affecting parents as well. We've also mixed all the different features up so they're in a different order just to confuse everybody. Most definitely us more than anyone else, but we'll see how it works out. This is the week that Netflix planned to launch its own video game studio, so I thought I'd introduce the panel in terms of the video games they would be. Brad, we all know his house is basically gets built up, gets knocked down again, it gets built up again. The man's got constant renovations. He's Minecraft. That's what he is.
Nice.
Amazing.
Nice. I like it, dude. I like
Trying
it.
to say something about the shape of his head.
And speaking of which, I've got some more renovations going on right now.
Of course you have, because it wouldn't be Brad if there weren't renovations somewhere. We've got Jack here. Jack is well known for his love of a particular instrument. This was an easy one. He's Guitar Hero.
Oh yeah.
He's the
Never
special
master
selling.
Dragon Force.
He's the special selling plectrums on Facebook Marketplace edition, which is not one of the popular versions of Guitar Hero. But if you're friends with Jack on Facebook, that's all you ever see. There's like he's got a widget or a capo or something for sale. I don't know.
Or maybe guitar words.
Well, I've heard of guitars before. Sparky, we know Sparky likes to fly his simulators. He's Jet Set Willy.
Whoa. I don't know that game. Am I missing out? Yeah, on an aviation game.
It's actually perfect.
I mean, it's is it too old for you? Have I shown my age again already? Oh God. The alternative was Nintendo Wii, but as in Wii, W-E-E, as in small, as in Nintendo Wii.
So Jim, Jet Set Willy was released in 1984, so that was a year before Sparkles and I were born.
Correct.
And I was already 5, so I was probably playing it when it came out. Christ. I would be Assassin's Creed Valhalla, because apparently, I'm not a gamer, but apparently some of it's set in Yorkshire. I saw it. Apparently some of it's set in Doncaster.
What?
Like Viking Doncaster.
Yeah.
Not modern day Doncaster. They're not going down the French Gate Centre and then to McDonald's.
Get some gravy and chips or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know, Jim, right now you are my favorite game franchise, because I'm hooked on Assassin's Creed at the minute, and I'm playing the one just before Valhalla at the minute.
Is that a timeline just before? Is it before the Vikings, or is it just a one that came out before that's about something else?
It's all over the place.
Yeah, I was going to say, dude, I don't think it follows like a specific linear timeline. I think they just pick like an era that they really enjoyed and they go and create a game about it. I think the Vikings is probably one of the older ones, so I'd imagine it's probably going back further than the one I'm in at the minute. I wouldn't know. I'd have to research it, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not that interested. Basically, I just typed in video games set in Yorkshire. That's what I found. Save that for the Geek Chat. If you're part of our Patreon, you can get Geek Chat. Although this week it is me and Sparky talking about Married at First Sight. But it will be back to normal geeky people, normal, geeky things in a bit. Anyway, let's start off the show. Let's do the first bit of the show. We're going to do the news straight away. Let's look inside the news. This is the news section. We're going to do it straight away. It's the important stuff that we're talking about. And this week, it's the pound that is absolutely crashing. It got to its lowest point ever against the dollar. Some people think it's going to get to parity with the dollar and euro, if not a little bit below that as well. So Kwasi Kwarteng, the new Chancellor of the Exchequer, is first. Imagine starting a job. your first big presentation, you destroy a currency. Because that's basically what he did with his mini budget.
Oh, guys, I think I've messed this up a little bit. Oh,
yeah, and he's refusing to answer questions on it. Investors got spooked because he didn't actually give any costings. So now it's going to cost him more to borrow the money he needs to borrow to do what he said he was going to do, because the interest rates are going to go up and it's all a bit of a mess. He has to change his plan. Bank of England said it would boost interest rates again, and it'll probably boost them by quite a lot. Mortgage companies are stopping offering rates to customers because they just don't know what the interest rate is going to be in the next couple of days. There could be an emergency announcement. Imports are getting more expensive. Holidays too, especially, honeymoons or, weddings. If someone's having a wedding abroad, that's going to cost a lot of money. I mean, I don't know if anyone's thinking of doing that.
Stop, Jim. No, stop. Because this has been very stressful. I'm getting married in 3 weeks in Corfu, and I haven't paid the final tariff, paid the final bill for my wedding, which means it's going to be more expensive when I pay it than I was expecting it to be, a lot more expensive. It's 10p on the pound more expensive.
And no one wants a weak pound on your wedding day, do you? So.
Yay!
Well, there's some things are guaranteed, Jim. But
speaking from experience, they are not.
Yeah, I'm hoping to be way too drunk to be worried about anything like that. But we've been stressed because exactly that. One of the reasons we chose to go abroad was when after lockdown we were looking at the costings of wedding in the UK versus abroad, and get a lot more bang for your euro, or you did. For going abroad, and it looks like all of that's just about to be erased out just before I'm about to pay the bill. So that's great.
So you are going to be out of pocket by quite a lot.
Considerably. I'm going to be considerably out of pocket because of this. Yep. And what can I do about it? Apart from, say, great
Cut
first
the guest list.
I know you've booked your flight and it's a couple of weeks to go, but if you wouldn't mind not coming now, we're just going to go for a small intimate occasion.
Well, I am Jim, delighted we didn't get invited now, because I wouldn't want to be changing the money.
It's gutting because I can smile about it. I guess I'm trying to smile about it because there's absolutely nothing I can do about it. But it's just it's like your student loan. It's just always there, isn't it? So you pay money off it. It's got to be paid. We've got to pay for the wedding. We're this far in now, and so gonna have to do it. But yeah, cheers, Quasi. I think. Cheers, Liz.
Connor, who is our executive producer for this show, he said we should start Sparky a GoFundMe. There will be people doing that, won't there? There'll be people who are just because they genuinely are so invested in it now, in whatever they're doing, or I mean, people will have less sympathy for people who are going to get married abroad than potentially businesses importing things from abroad. But there will be people who will be really struggling, people who've committed to importing a load of things which now will be completely too expensive for them to do that, and too expensive for them to make any profit on it. It's a really scary prospect.
It's things you don't expect it, or don't actually think straight away that it affects. Now, of course, it's affecting people in a lot of serious ways, but the jeweler, the guy who we bought the wedding ring off, I was speaking to him a couple of weeks ago before all this happened, and he was saying they buy all of their, to maximize profit, a lot of jewelers, especially small businesses, he's a small business, buy their gold in dollars, because you get a better exchange rate and then your value works out better than that. Because of the effect of the market, his profit has been smashed, and it's already having an effect. I know it's a jeweler's, so you just think, oh, they got money. But no, obviously everyone's working to a budget and a top line.
The thing is,
considerably moved.
You say, like Jim said, there'll be people actually starting GoFundMe pages and stuff to help out with this. Problem with that is no one's got any money to give to a GoFundMe page. Connor's also made a joke about signing his missus up to OnlyFans, and I don't want to step on anyone's toes with news stories here, but I swear every other news story I see, now that the Queen is sort of done, every other news story I see is, someone signed up, landlady to a pub signed up to OnlyFans.
Ex-priest. Yeah, ex-priest gets kicked out of parish, now makes millions on OnlyFans.
Honestly,
and you're God does work in mysterious ways.
But what is this as a society, as an economy, that really the only way to make any serious money at the moment is to sell your body.
Everyone's plan B. is
Yeah.
to be
Yeah.
asked to
At
shut
least we've
up.
got
I mean,
OnlyFans.
it's sad though. It's going to get to a point where like a guy's going to meet a girl and be like, and he'll be like, "Oh, you look so familiar." And then they eventually get to the part where she drops her knickers, and he goes, "I know, where
I've seen that before. I've paid to see
I've
that
seen
before.
that before."
I've subscribed to that for a while.
You know,
But also-
Quasi's
now
going to
that
have to
we're
do it.
dating.
Quasi's going to have to get on there, isn't he? To balance the books. You want to see my fiscal policy? I'll get it out there.
Don't know, like I mean, seriously.
But
That
also,
though-
like, what a weird state of the economy that is what people are paying money for. Like, I buy and sell guitars. No one is buying guitars at the moment. No one is buying guitars. Everyone is selling because there's just not the cash around, you know. But OnlyFans, people will still pay for porn.
That doesn't make sense. It's like, and it is free, you know. Like I could give you a couple of. Well, my friend can give you a couple of websites. Sorry. They might be watching, guys.
Actually, if you say that, you might not have to have the wedding, so that would be all right.
Hold on, Jim.
I guess that old saying, Jack, with sex sells and the whole world is buying, is where it's at, man.
I guess it is the one thing that keeps going, isn't it? The one thing that you can still do, even when generally for free, not always. So anyone else starting to panic? Mortgages going to go up again quite a lot.
I'm
don't want
on a 5-year fixed, so I'm all right.
Oh, I panic rang my mortgage guy today because our renewal is in the middle of what I think is going to be the epicenter of this. Like, we got to renew our 2-year fixed May next year, so the numbers are going to be out by then. And I'm ringing him saying, should we get ahead of this? Like, should we try and do it? Like, I've got no financial knowledge really. I completely rely on this guy to give me good financial advice because I'm an idiot that works on the radio. I don't know numbers. And he calmed me down a bit because he was like, the way the interest rates, and this is like, I don't know any, this is just hearsay. I'm not giving any professional advice. I know we're on a podcast and you don't come here for professional advice, but he's like, you've got to think if everybody's mortgage tripled, like that's a lot of people getting repossessed, and then that's not the economy growing. So like I'm potentially going to end up paying more for my mortgage in the next couple of years for the fixed rate, but I was thinking it's going to double, it's going to triple. And I was thinking, because do you all remember that figure that they put on your mortgage when you sign it? And it's like, oh, if the interest rate returns to 11%, which it has been before, this is how much your monthly mortgage cost would be. And it's the most terrifying number you've ever seen written down. Thank you.
Because it was in the 80s, it did get up to that, didn't it? It got up to like 11% and stuff, and that's what I'm always in the back, because I have our mortgage, and then I've got a mortgage on a flat that for some reason I still own and I could never get rid of, and they've both been like tracker ones, just like variable rate ones, and for so many years that's been brilliant. I've been paying like the minimum possible, and it's been great. And now it started to lift, and I was trying to kind of face off the market a little bit, going, "Oh, they won't put it up loads in a short amount of time, will they? That'll destroy the economy." Oh, they are doing. Oh my goodness, no, it's happening.
Oh,
so today I've managed to get a fixed rate for 5 years for £5 more a month than I'm paying right now, and I could not hit that confirm button fast enough when I read that. When I saw it, I was like, I can't believe this is true. This is probably a mistake. They've offered it though. I'm pressing it now, and that's it. Fixed in for 5 years, and I'm paying essentially what I'm paying now. And I mean, if you're in a position, just see what your mortgage provider has, because they can do it straight away. The thing is, if you're getting a new mortgage, you have to apply for it, and it'll take a week or two. If you go in with your current one, then they could do it pretty much straight away. So it is worth seeing what they could offer. That is the advice I would give. Once again, do not come to this podcast for
actual advice.
Anything.
there you go.
My advice is we've always used the mortgage advisor, and that guy has been an absolute G. He has always gotten us amazing deals. I mean, recently we've signed we're locked in for 10 years on our mortgage. And because it was complicated with the annex now that we got where my folks are living, our previous mortgage lender wouldn't give us a loan. because of the annex. So we had to go with another provider who did. And yeah, we've got a pretty decent rate for the next 10 years. And we got a letter the other day from our old provider. Had we stuck with them, that somehow they've sent a letter through saying, "Oh, your new monthly payments will be £700 more than what we were paying with them." And now that we've remortgaged, we took more money out to do some more renovations, and we're still paying less than what
Wow.
we
Doesn't
would have
make
had we just
sense.
stuck with them. Yeah, it's crazy.
Can we all just get a fair deal, please? Like, I mean, is that a lot to ask for? Like, can everybody just get a fair deal? Can we trust the people that have been given the keys to the big safe of England to make the right decisions for us?
I
Please?
tell you this time and time again, banks are scum. Don't ever trust them. They're out for themselves, dude.
You know, we're live now. You know,
Yeah.
previously I've been able to edit that
unless
out.
they want,
I don't
to sponsor
care,
this
dude.
show, in which case,
I will gladly see myself out of that sponsorship. You guys
So,
can do it. That's fine.
there you go. Brad has locked himself into a mortgage for 10 years, or in Brad talk, 5 more lots of renovations. Jack, do you have a news story?
I do. So, you know, I'm having a bit of a time with my 4-year-old at the moment. I don't know if I've mentioned that on this pod, but he's going through something at the moment where he's a bit fighty with me. And you know, he'll shout at me. Oh, you know, the real teenage stuff. You know, right? If you don't let me have pizza for dinner, you don't love me, and I don't want to live in this house anymore.
Four. The
yeah,
attitude
yeah.
can start. Oh no!
Yeah.
You're terrifying.
Have you not noticed how my eyes look like piss holes in the snow right now? I thought the sleepless nights early on were going to be what killed me, but I think it might be 4. Anyway, I read this story about Prince George that you might have seen, and I'm not into the royals, but this spoke to me on another level.
Go on.
Prince George told classmate at school, "My father will be king, so you better watch out." He apparently got into a spat with a kid at school, and that's how he ended it.
I mean, it is true, though. His dad will be able to get that kid killed if he wanted to.
True,
And I'm
yeah.
not saying he will. And I'm not saying he'll get anyone killed. Just saying he has got the power.
You see, for me, with my boys being the craze of Norfolk, it's the other way round. You know, I say to other dads, "You watch out, because my kids, when they're older, they could have you whacked."
Because for your kids, it would be, you watch out. When my dad gets home, he might sell another guitar. It's not as threatening, is it?
Slightly above market rate.
Fingers crossed. Anyway, ooh, but not in this climate,
Oh, no.
unfortunately. I always fear hearing that my kids have said something horrible at school, like, because you hear kids say it. There's a kid, you know, that I heard of that was like threatening people's families and stuff. And it's just like,
Jeez.
you wouldn't want to be that one
No,
where the
no.
teachers ring up and just gone, "Oh yeah, by the way, yeah, your child has been like threatened to shank someone."
No, may I clarify? My children only threaten me.
Yeah,
They do not threaten anyone else. Everywhere else you go, they're good as gold.
You know what?
I was talking about the future king. He's been threatening people.
You know what? Patricide hasn't been a real big thing since like the 1700s. I'm sure your kids can bring it back.
It's retro, isn't it? That's what it is.
Exactly,
Yeah.
But I just the way this article is worded is it like describes him as cheeky. A little cheeky exchange that Prince George has had, and I'm like, no, if that was any other kid, you would not be describing that as cheeky.
Yeah.
They always
You'd be
do
like,
that.
what little shit.
With the royal family, though, don't they? They just go. And people were in stitches when Prince Charles said a joke, or King Charles he is now, I guess. And it tells you what the joke was, and it's like, I don't think they were in stitches. I think they just went, oh, yeah.
Yeah,
It's not like the humour that Jim wrote for Gary Delaney, is it, guys? It's not.
No, exactly.
You know, the King's not on that level. But
Pure
it's
gold.
not. It's not George you've got to be worried about, though. If you remember back to the Jubilee, when is it Archie, the one that they wouldn't even like? Well, of course, he's probably too young to go to the Queen's funeral, but the way he looked like he was threatening Princess Catherine, like, you need to back off.
Oh, Louis,
Like,
wasn't it? Yeah,
Louis,
was
sorry,
Louis,
not
yeah,
Archie.
that
Sorry, Louis.
Yeah. Archie,
Harry's
Archie
baby.
being the son of Harry and Meghan. Yeah, if he said this, it would be like,
Oh.
little Doug.
Yeah.
That hoodlum. No, Louis. Yeah, he looked like trouble on the balcony. He was funny.
Yeah.
Well, he looked like Trouble Stroke was a normal child bored at a boring event. Yeah, but you know what?
Yeah.
Whichever. Sparky, do you have a news story?
I do, and it's a new type of hotel, guys, that we could all head to. We could all go for a sleepover. That's part of the reason I like this story. They say counting sheep helps you go to sleep. Well, these new hotels, the world's first real counting sheep hotel, is launching. It's launching next year, and it's basically a farmer that is clearly struggling to
come on.
to make ends meet. Now, some farmers are just putting solar panels in the middle of their. Hold on, I got some mic issues here, guys. I just want to drop that. There we go.
Who's the professional broadcaster here?
It is me, but this equipment's set up by me, and I'm not a professional technician. Let me tell you that.
So explain what this is then, because people maybe just saw that picture on the screen. For people listening, what is this farmer doing?
It's basically he's got these giant see-through pods with double beds in. He's bigging it up as a luxury experience, but it's like you're going to be in a sheep field. Basically, it's an Airbnb in a sheep field. Massive see-through dome, and he's going to write numbers on the side of the sheep for you, and you can count the sheep before you fall to sleep, and it's a proper way to relax. And then you'll be woken up with a yoga breakfast, apparently. And
what's a yoga breakfast?
You do yoga before you have breakfast.
I think you have to bend over to find it.
You got to pour the milk in a unique way.
Yeah. But as a parent of a toddler, I feel like he's marketing this in the wrong way, because I think Jackson would absolutely love to stay over in here as a 2.5-year-old boy, like in a massive dome in the middle of a sheep field, just counting the sheep, being amongst the animals. So.
Yeah. Have you ever been to a zoo where they have the Perspex domes in the middle of the meerkat enclosure or something like that?
Yeah.
It's that, isn't it?
It's that, but in a farmer's field where you can't sleep over in a zoo, though, can you, Jack? So
but why would you want to sleep over in a clear, see-through?
I'm not selling this, guys. I'm bringing this as the news story. I'm just saying this farmer has come along with this is how people are having to come up with it. That or OnlyFans, guys, and he's gone only sheep. He's gone. I've only got sheep. You can come and pay to sleep in a field with me sheep.
Fair enough. Brad,
you're not signing up for it, Jim. You don't want to go.
It's not mine. It's not where I'm going on holiday. Although, is it in the UK?
It's in the UK, so
well then there's no problems with exchanging money, so that's a good thing.
Also, Jim,
one bonus.
You do go on holiday to Norfolk, which is very similar to this.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah,
that's why you're underwhelmed, Jack. You're just surrounded by sheep anyway.
Yeah,
so I get that for free. I just look out
just
my
life.
window. Like I don't need to be in a snazzy dome, mate, and pay for the cost of it.
Do you think he's a strange voyeur, this bloke? Because why would you want to get people to come and sleep in a see-through dome in your? I mean,
it's like Ace Ventura when he's in the rhino thing. Comes out the bum of that. The farmer's actually in a sheep, like
with his binoculars out.
With his binoculars, and then halfway through the night, he'll come out of the robot sheep's anus and spy on you.
As long as that's the only anus anyone's coming out of in the
as long as that's the only anus someone's going in.
If you had robot sheep's anus in the Loose Dad's sweepstake this evening, that's to be mentioned. And well done. You've won us some money.
I feel like you've rescued that shonky news story, Jack. Well played.
Brad, what's your news story this week?
All right, so chess champion brands teen rival a cheat amid claims he used anal beads to win.
Yeah.
Right. I saw this headline.
Great story.
Didn't read any further. What is it about the anal beads that made him win?
So the world's top chess player Magnus Carlsen branded US team prodigy Hans Niemann a cheat amid allegations the fellow grandmaster was using vibrating anal beads to win matches. So a very similar concept to, do you remember the big Who Wants to Be a Millionaire cough game thing with,
Yeah.
Basically what he's saying is he had the youngster had anal beads
inserted
up his rectum, wireless triggered ones, and someone within the audience would set them off when he was about to make a bad move, so that he would then pause and rethink about his move and look for a better one.
No, I get it. So he was about to make a bad move. They would set that off, and then he would inadvertently knock the board, and all the pieces would go flying.
I mean, it's a complicated system and it's a great headline, but why didn't the person who knows what the bad moves are just not play the game instead, rather than letting the kid who didn't know what he was doing do it?
Well, no, this 19-year-old is apparently quite the prodigy.
So why does he need to? Why does he need?
Why has he got to cheat? Yeah.
But the thing is, he's saying he didn't. He was willing to strip naked and be cavity searched to prove that he had no anal beads lodged up his butthole.
It's a game of chess, guys. Like, that has got out of hand when you're having to get a cavity search after a game of chess.
Certainly got out of hand, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's just so next time you guys are having a little family game of Uno, make sure you bring the vibrating anal beads out in case you want to team up with someone and take someone else down.
The two things could have been unrelated.
I mean, yeah, he could have just had a kink. Yeah,
that is also true.
Like sometimes,
let's not judge.
Like sometimes you use external stimulus to stimulate your brain or your thinking. Like some people will have to stop bad habits, they would use like an elastic band and flick it against the skin, or you can tap your feet to help you think, or maybe the anal beads vibrating in his rectum gets the old noggin going. Yeah.
Just made him sharp,
Yeah.
How did he cover it though? Because if he wasn't sat quite nice, like just my phone. Sorry, got a text. Like, how do you deal with that? Because if you're on a wood chair, that I can imagine that.
I don't be like, I'm getting a text.
It's so strange. Like the other player, how did the other player suggest, even come up with that concept?
Yeah.
Like whether it was true or not. How did they either know, or how did they either come to that conclusion?
That's the thing though, is I can't seem to find any explanation as to why this guy this 31-year-old guy thought that about the teen.
It's can't believe you've beaten me. He's definitely got something up his ass. Like, how do you get there? Like, how do you get there? Like,
and if we were playing chess and you were cheating and I thought you had something up your ass, I definitely would have thought it would have been like an ace up the sleeve sort of situation, like a bishop up the bum or something. Hold on, you didn't have that piece a minute ago. Why have you got 3 bishops on the board?
Why is there a condom on it?
Jack, would you call that a new type of porn?
Nice. There you go. There it is.
As if we needed a reminder, this was a dad's podcast.
Yes. This is Loose Dads from Dad's Net, on the way in our mixed up show where we're doing everything in different orders. I believe we're doing the big question next, where we find out some questions from Dad's Net members and answer them with also some more advice you maybe should or shouldn't take, depending on external factors and stuff like that. That's coming up next on Loose Dads. This is Loose Dads from Dad's Net. It's a podcast with 4 blokes talking, really. You can see the 4 blokes talking if you're around on the internet on a Tuesday night, 8:30. We go live. We're on the Loose Dads podcast Facebook group. We're on the Dad's Net Facebook page. We're on the Loose Dads YouTube channel and potentially other places. But I
think even the Dad's Net Twitter.
Wow. Actual Twitter.
Yes.
And I always see a few days later that it's been shared in like the Loose Dads Leads page and the Sports Dad page or something like that. So you might be watching that from there now. Hi, if you are. Good to see you. But you can see it. Also, you can just get it from all your audio places as well if you want Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and all of that. Right, let's do the big question.
The big question of the week.
The big question of the week.
So the big question is where we go to the Dadsnet forums on Facebook and we take some questions that dads have been asking and then we try and answer them in our own inimitable styles. This one, Sparky might have an answer for this. Good afternoon, dads. Wedding talk. What would be a budget for a wedding in your opinions? All in. I need to see if I'm way off or pretty close. So is there an answer? Is there like a set? Did you have? I mean, we're not expecting you, Sparky, to say the exact price in euros or pounds, whatever.
Okay.
But did you have a set amount? Because tell you what, it's like what 13 years. I had to check the calendar to see. 13 years since I got married. I can't even remember how much we spent on ours. But did you have like a set amount in mind? And has it gone over, or is it under that, or what? What do you?
My girlfriend or my fiance and my future wife has got that ridiculous expensive taste gene, you know, where if there was a million things in a room and with no price tags on, she would pick the most expensive thing, you know, like I don't know how she does it. So I was already concerned going into it, but in my mind, I'm like, ideally, I wouldn't want to spend over £10,000 for our wedding. And I think we're around that mark, maybe a little bit over. Like
you're over.
Yeah, but
He's trying to be modest. He's trying to be modest.
No, I'm genuinely because actually, right. The truth is, as well as it's ridiculous. That's why one of the reasons we've gone abroad, and you wouldn't believe it because your first thought would be, it's no way going to be cheaper to go away. But just to get some of the buildings we looked at in the UK, it was like $9,000 just for the building before you even started with food or with anything like that. Like $8,000 just to hire it for the day, and it's like what? So like that done my brain in. So I asked some questions and just never forget. It was last year when we were actually on holiday at the hotel we're getting married in, which was the third time we'd been there, and we loved it. That's the whole reason why we want to get married in that hotel. And I just had a meeting with the manager of the place and sort of like was like, yeah, go on, give us an idea. And she went, I reckon I could probably get it in for under 12,000 euros. We could make it potentially work. Like, not guaranteeing that. And I nearly bit her hand off because, you know, because you want, I don't think it matters how much you spend on your wedding. It just matters on what it means to you. Like, that's the real reason, like, I guess we're going down this route. But I know mates who've just got married on a few £100 and had a lovely time.
Yeah,
like,
registry office, mate.
Went down the registry office. Well, the funny thing is, in all of that,
in the pub.
You did registry office, Jack. Like, we're doing.
No, we went abroad.
Yeah, you did the same. So, but did you have to do a UK win? Because I say we're doing the registry office to make it legal, and that's £50. Like that's, I was blown away that's only £50 because it's like the only thing when you mention the word wedding that's under £100. Like,
oh yeah, normally that just is an excuse to go, oh, we're really gonna have to charge you a lot of money. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, but we did abroad as well because it was ridiculously cheaper than getting married in the UK.
Yeah.
It also meant we could keep our guest list down, which made it even cheaper. But the reason I was so adamant that you've gone over is because I had a budget of, you know, roughly that in my head. And I don't think it was until a few years later that Danny actually told me how much our wedding cost.
And I was like, definitely secrets. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Right. And I don't think it was necessarily that she was keeping secrets from me. I just lost track of it. It just became like Monopoly money, you know? You're like, I don't understand where this money's coming from.
Yeah, I think there's some.
But apparently we're
ways...
spending it, and she's buying her dress, she's doing all that sort of stuff. I don't know how much that costs.
Yeah,
there are some ways where you can keep it more self-contained, can't you? So for this dad who's asking the question, there are ways you can go where you can get the whole, like, you can get the ceremony and the reception and everything, and you'll just get one bill, and then obviously there'll be, like, you know, suits and dresses and stuff on top of that, but other than that, it's probably cheaper to do it in a way where you go and source everything yourself. But yeah, like you said, Jack, that's when the money just starts going out and you don't know where it's going out, and unless you're like the king of spreadsheets or something, it's really difficult to keep track of it.
That I am most definitely not, Jim. What about you, Brad? Oh, sorry, Jim. Yeah, go on.
I was just going to say, we went abroad to Derbyshire, and we got married there. But because we were having the reception on my mother-in-law's farm, there's like a network of farmers in Derbyshire who all do like on the side random things to do with weddings. So my mother-in-law had a friend who hired marquees, one who was like did catering, and then all of these other things. And so basically we got all these sort of special inside farmer deals.
That's what you want. But that, like, you were rubbing your hands together at the time, I bet, Jim. Like, this is brilliant because I'm not having to think about this too much. People know what they're doing. It's like, this is what you want. Bam.
Yeah, it limits your choice if you're going for the cheaper. But actually, it turned out everything was fine. It wasn't like we had to put up with anything we didn't want. We had a really good time, and yeah, I think we ended up because it was the opposite. We could have more people there because we did it sort of ourselves on land that my mother-in-law owned. She didn't obviously charge us for using her land. And so we could have more people there, which was really nice because it cost us a lot less per person than if you go somewhere where it's all sort of set. So it's difficult to say there's just one price, isn't it?
Yeah.
I watched this program. I mean, I think it's called on Discovery Plus. I can't remember what it's called.
I thought you were going to say Married at First Sight. I was like,
no, it's a bit like,
shut up about Married at First Sight.
Jack. It's another trash TV program like that, though, mate. All right, and it's where they go. It's someone like the wife wants an extravagant wedding. It's the same old cliche, and the guy wants a cheaper wedding, and then they go to 3 different weddings, and then at the end, like when they on these property programs, they guess how much that wedding cost, and then they find out how much each thing, and then you go, oh well, that was way cheaper than I thought it was, or and it's to teach people that you don't really actually. Doesn't matter how much you spend on your wedding; it's how you do the things on the day, basically. To try and give some actual good advice there,
Yes, it is. And so if this bloke's got an idea in his mind, then go for the option that goes for that money. I mean, that's really rubbish, lame advice, but kind of true as well. Brad, tell us about your wedding day.
So we were originally going to just get married in the council offices over here, but then Shay's dad offered to fly us out back home to go get married. So
nice.
He paid for it, but if he hadn't,
Amazing.
Yeah, if he hadn't, then we would have just gone to the council office. I think I just we're on the both of the mindset of it's just a day, it's a wedding day, it's not your marriage. Don't start your marriage in shit ton of debt because you wanted to, outshine everyone else for one day.
That's good advice.
Yeah, so that was it. It was nice and simple. It was lovely. We had
good advice from a bloke's point of view. Good luck going to your other half and
that is
like Shay. Yeah. But I'm saying not every woman's like Shay.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is I think we need to start this campaign to stop this whole princess wedding malarkey. Stop it now. Stop it.
But it's one day. It's a special day, Brad.
It is a special day, dude, but you got to think about the next 5 years of trying to pay that off.
It totally depends on the couple, though, and your character.
Yeah.
Because actually, it's nice to be able to have a big party if you can, but it's not the end of the world if you can't. It's you just kind of. I guess it's like with everything, isn't it? If you can't afford to do it, don't.
Yeah,
do it.
Exactly. I agree with you, Jim. If you can afford to do it, do it. If you can't, don't kill yourself to do it because
I'd say the best bit of advice we could
struggle.
give is. Don't get Kwasi Kwarteng to do the numbers for your wedding. I think we've all learned that this week. All right.
He is not the king of spreadsheets, is he?
No. Every time you guys talk about it, I mean, this is how much I really don't read the news. I didn't know who he is.
It's a new treasure. Chancellor.
I know. I get that from what Jim said earlier, but all I can think of now is you just the Quasimodo, because that's what I'm hearing now is when you're like, oh, Quasi.
I mean, I'd say, Brad, given his early performance in his job, there's not really any point getting to know who he is. I don't think it's going to be relevant for very long. So another question that we've had, heating for the little one. We're fine, but his room is pretty cold at night. He's waking up with legs like 2 little icicles. What are you doing to keep your kids warm for cheap without putting the heating on? This is another...
Blanket.
Cost of living thing. Electric blanket, do you think
Electric blankets are so much cheaper than putting the heating on. So do that. Extra pajamas. Those are my 2 bits of advice. Sorry. I
Yeah,
skipped-
No one-
I was talking like I had more in there, but there wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. There really is. Yeah. Like sleep with a onesie. That's what my son did last night. I just think he quite fancied doing that. I don't know. He like in the morning, he was like, I slept in a onesie. I was like, yeah, I do. Yeah. But I slept in a onesie. Yeah. Brilliant.
And truth be told, I think all of us would want to sleep in a onesie.
Jimmy was definitely bragging at school about that today.
Except for Jack when he wants to go to the loo in the middle of the night, and he's got to then.
Nightmare.
Oh,
You have to
Yeah,
put like a special.
you couldn't
zip
spread your
on.
legs to sit over the top. Nah, it's just too much of a mare for you, dude. But
I've got
yeah,
a real hatred of loungewear, though. That's the only thing. I don't mind loungewear.
You do.
But what happened was because I'm very much anti loungewear. I don't like it at all. I didn't have any loungewear one time when I was really, really ill, and I had to try and wear my wife's onesie. She's quite a lot smaller than me. And I tried to put it on just because I needed something like that. And it was at that point where I thought, okay, maybe there is an excuse for loungewear at some point. So, as I was hunched over the toilet, chucking.
Hunched over the toilet, doing up your tie.
Yeah.
What do you wear around the house then? Like,
Just like my normal clothes.
and what? And just in the sleeping box.
a nice knitted cardigan with a scarf.
You don't have a 2-piece pajama set at all.
No, I do have some pajamas, but I don't wear them unless I'm going to bed.
And Jim's pajamas are like a button-up shirt and and a little nightcap.
I mean, you're not far off. I have got some quite nice 1970s Paisley pajamas.
Of course.
I don't
Paisley.
I don't tend to wear the top though. If anyone wants to know, I just wear a t-shirt. But I don't know if anyone's interested in my pajama wear. Maybe I should start on Instagram.
Jim's rug keeps him warm enough, and you can see that only on Jim's OnlyFans. That's it. That rug.
I mean, like between all of us, we got Sparky's mad addiction for Crocs, Jim's for like any vintage-looking clothes. So I think we could really start an interesting Instagram posting here, guys. I think.
Wrong fashion. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah. I'd second what Jack said. I think electric blankets are good, but maybe like if you're worried about potential electrical usage throughout the night, maybe set them on timers. Sometimes you can get like timer switches that you could put them on like every hour for like 10 minutes or so. Layering up is definitely a good one, but also making sure that you can get some nice thick bed sheets, because you can get the thin breathable cotton ones, which are good for winter, but you can also get some thicker ones, or good for summer, but you can also get some thicker ones for winter.
Yeah, like brushed
cotton. And then get some like 15 tog blankets. So you get like I think there's 2 blankets that you clip together to make like a really thick one. Should help, hopefully.
Yeah,
and
socks to bed.
That stuff to put on your windows as well, because like drafts and stuff. So get rid of drafts if you can. But there's like stuff that sort of like a sheet you can put on the window, which sort of makes it more insulating.
Good shout, because we did because we did it's spot on, dude. We did a campaign not too long ago with Dom Littlewood about saving energy around your house. Dom's awesome, by the way. He's a great guy. And one of that was curtains, making sure you don't put your beds against radiators. You need to keep them away so the heat can circulate around the room. And one of the biggest ones is looking for drafts in your doors. Like if you've got massive gaps in your doors, like at the bottom or the top of your doors, maybe you get like, what are they, like draft stops, I think they are. Something like that. You can use that to...
One of those little kind of sausage dog things.
Or a snake. My nan used to love them. Very retro, Jim. Very you, mate. Very on the retro scene. I used to love riding them as a kid at my nan's house.
Yeah, one of those really, really long ducks ones. Perfect.
And
there's definitely some good things.
The last tip from me would be, my kids always seem to end up in my bloody bed anyway, so
share that body heat.
All share that body heat.
One more question from a Dad's Net member. Harmless prank ideas, please. My friend's gone away, asked me to water her plants. What mischief can I get up to? Thinking along the lines of googly eyes and wrapping paper around random objects. I think we can do better than that. Come on, what can we do?
Okay, multiple pictures of, like, change the photos in their house. like to Nicolas Cage or someone like that, but like as
No,
many photos.
not even Nicolas Cage. Some random.
just
Go on your Facebook, find like.
yeah.
I don't know where we stand legally with this, but go on your Facebook, find someone that they don't know, print off a load of pictures, put them in all their photo frames.
Perfect. That's amazing. Connor on the live stream says cling film everything. That's everything. Because there's nothing better than when you get back from a holiday having to cut a load of cling film off all your stuff, off your telly before you can sit and watch that, or your kettle before you can make a brew.
We've also
go on.
weighted blankets, but I assume that isn't about the.
I think that's about the past. Yeah,
I think that's about the.
Well, that's got kind of like Twits vibes about it, hasn't it? As a prank to make the blankets ever so slightly more weighted every day, so they think they're getting weaker.
Yeah.
Like when the Twits they put like a little, didn't they? Put a little bit on the bottom of the walking stick every so often to make him think he was shrinking or something. I can't remember.
It was one of the pranks in the American Office that Jim does to Dwight. That every day he puts another quarter in his handset on his phone, so that it gets heavier and heavier gradually. And then one day he just took them all out and he punched himself in the face with the phone.
I mean, the ultimate thing that you could do, which is harmless but is bang out of order, is just hide their TV remotes. Like. Because I feel like I spend most time in my life looking for the TV remote in my house. But if you just actually took
Sparky, just use a smart app, bro. You don't need remotes anymore, man.
It's just not as satisfying as the click as the Fire Stick remote, mate. It's just not.
I know, but like, come on, man.
I think someone's playing this prank on me every day because I can never find it.
I mean, remotes are the worst thing. Absolutely. What about swapping out their coffee for like just replace it with like, was it Bistro?
Oh yeah, gravy.
Bisto.
Yeah,
Gravy, yeah.
Bisto, yeah, there we go. That stuff, yeah. So when he wants to go make himself a good cuppa, or
perfect.
replacing the sugar for salt.
We did, when I used to work on the radio, the woman that I did the show with, she went away and we had to go and water her plants and look after her cat. And me and the producer went and we bought a load of little alarm clocks. And the day before she got back, we went around, hid them all over the place and set them for 4 a.m.
That's incredible. Yeah, that is really good.
That's brilliant. That's
It was
brilliant.
so much fun finding out how annoyed. And her parents were staying over as well that day, so they
Amazing.
got woken up as well. Perfect. Right, this is Loose Dads from Dadsnet on the way on this mixed around show. We're getting used to it. We've not got anything massively wrong yet,
No.
but we're going to play a game next. That's coming up on Loose Dads from Dadsnet. It's Loose Dads from Dadsnet. Yeah. It's 4 blokes here live streaming, but also on like a recorded medium. So wherever you like to get your podcast, whether you like to watch them visually as they go out, or if you'd like to hear them at another time, you can do that as well. We've got all the options. Also, if you really like what we're doing here, and we really appreciate the people that do, then you can go to patreon.com/loosedads and you can kind of support the show, help it keep running, and you get rewards for it. So as I said, I mean, this is probably the one that's going to get the most uptick in Patreon members, is that you will very soon be able to get a little geek chat between me and Sparky about Married at First Sight UK, which, I mean...
there's nothing geeky about that, guys. It's full drama. That's what we are.
Solid gold. After this, you two, the actual real geeks, they're going to be doing some recording. What are you going to be talking about this week?
Thor: Love and Thunder.
Right, Thor Love.
I've not seen that one on Pornhub. What's that?
I said all the Love and Thunder makes you Thor.
Yeah.
Did you see Thor? No, anyway, but whatever.
Thor, now get on with it.
That is going to be happening. They're probably going to keep it low key. And
Wave.
I I know
Very
some
good.
geek things.
Very good. Very good.
And patreon.com/loosedads. If you want to buy into that, there's loads of different levels. You get loads of great rewards. You get to be executive producer. You get like little hangouts with the Loose Dads as well. Patreon.com/loosedads. Right, let's play a game.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's game time!
This is parenting. Would you rather? So this is a question. You've got two options. Which one are you going to take? First one, I'm going to get to Brad. Would you rather, if a child refuses to sleep during nap time? Oh, hang on. Wait a second. No, that's something else. Would you rather? Started reading
What was
it. realised-
that?
That's some dad jokes I had written down. If you want to know what that one is, it's if a child refuses to sleep during nap time, are they guilty of resisting arrest?
That's
That's why I've never done that one.
Nice.
Right, Brad, would you rather the only milk you could ever drink was breast milk, or the only biscuits you could ever eat were rusks?
Breast milk.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, come on, guys. Who's going to pretend that they've never tried?
Yeah.
Like a drop, but like
yeah.
you're saying that
Like-
would be
like a drop.
the thing that you.
Oh,
Like,
dude,
you'd
Yeah,
have
but
milk as breast milk.
A cappuccino, like
yeah, a little bit of
Drop,
extra foam.
please.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't. In the UK, are rusks very? Do you guys get rusks over here?
Farley's
Mm,
Rust.
okay.
All
Yeah.
these rusks.
Yeah.
Are they really like brick hard?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're
Because in
really
South
good.
Africa, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't stand those things, man.
Right.
Breast milk. Once you get past the fact that we drink milk from a cow, which is not like, we shouldn't really. Humans, I guess, are part of the same species. Yeah,
Okay.
we as men expect women to drink weird shit from men. So I think.
Okay, but my question is like
Not on the frosties.
It's just got sinister quick. Not in a cappuccino. I do not want that, Bradley. I do not.
My question is the amount of milk you would need for a bowl of cereal. Whose breast milk is this? Have we got breast milk farms?
Yeah, that's the only
yeah.
answer. But I mean, we do that with cows, don't we? So, is it any less weird to do it with people? Yes, it is. No,
Yeah.
it's more weird.
More weird.
Yeah, okay, yeah, whatever. Yeah, I've not really thought through the logistics of this. Also, I mean,
I'm going with rusks. Like I know you've asked Brad, but I would go with rusks just because of the human rights issues involved in the human farms.
Yeah. This whole little conversation has become like an episode of Black Mirror. It's like
Yeah.
we've got human milking farms, force-fed rusks. Like, move on. Hell.
it's gone woke. I can't believe we've gone woke. Pinko, lefty, woke, loose dads, as always. Right, okay, Jack. Would you rather cook a different meal for each member of your family every night, or you never get to choose what you eat for your dinner?
I do the first one anyway, so
Oh dear, right?
that'll
Okay.
do. Yeah, because Danny's a vegetarian. I eat meat. Harry eats some fish and some meats. Jake eats chicken, but then like not anything the rest. So I'll end up making Danny a salad. I have a chicken curry with rice. Harry will have maybe the chicken curry but without the rice, and then Jake will just have rice with like ketchup and some veg chopped up into it. So I cook meals for different people anyway.
All right. So
It's a right pain. It's a right pain in the ass.
Yeah, I just got tired listening to that.
Yeah. So you
Like-
choose that punishment, though, Jack. You choose that. Now you're getting the choice because Jim offered you another option there.
Well, but the other choice is that I never get to choose what I eat or
Yeah.
my meal. Yeah.
But that's like, being in a hotel on holiday and you don't really know what they're going to do for dinner, like what's going to be available.
I'll
on the
still
buffet.
choose what I want from the
I
buffet.
suppose. Yeah, no, I suppose you're right. Right. I'm overthinking it. Right.
I mean, it wouldn't pay to overthink parenting. Would you rather? Would it?
Wait, we were just talking about milking humans. So, I mean, we're all
also-
doing well tonight. So,
If I'm not choosing, who is choosing? That's quite important.
I would say different family member every night. So
Yeah.
they're on a
No.
rotation. The
Oh
three.
my god, yeah.
Yeah.
If you had to base your what you get to eat on what your kids choose, oh
Yeah,
god,
no. Not doing that.
no.
I'll cook the 4 different meals.
Yeah,
Fair enough.
yeah.
As occurs already.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah.
And Sparky, would you rather have arms as long as Mr. Tickle or legs as short as ET? Although I realised actually you already have legs.
I wonder why you saved this question for me. Yeah. I don't know, man. The arms though would be great. That would be useful, right? Having super long arms. I mean, it'd be awkward when you're just walking down the street. Like, well, you can't really put them in your pockets if they're that long.
No.
But imagine if when said TV remote, which is always somewhere not in my vicinity, I could still sit on the sofa and look around for it and be like that. That would be great. Having Mr. Tickle Hands, I suppose.
Yeah, you could come and play for the Chroma Crabs. Come and play basketball with me.
Oh yeah, imagine. You'd sign me up. I think the NBA might sign me up though, Jack, if I've got arms that long.
Well, they might. Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, let's not get ahead of ourselves. I mean, did Mr. Tickle ever get signed up for the NBA? Because I don't think he did.
Hold on, the Mr. Men books have run out of spin-offs. That'll be coming next. Don't you worry, Mr. Tickle joins the NBA. That's coming sooner rather than you think.
Yeah, it's the natural link up. It would be inconvenient though if you wanted to read a newspaper. You'd have to have your elbows out really wide in order to be able to have your arms close up, holding the newspaper in front of your eyes, or get better eyesight.
Well, but Mr. Tickle's arms are like all bendy and like spaghetti-like. So, are we saying that Sparky's arms would be bendy and spaghetti-like, or are they just as long as
Human
Mr.
arms.
Tickle's arms, but as human? Yeah, with human joints.
No, they're like Mr. Tickle's, but still, I mean, just because of the sheer amount of material there, they would have to go out a while to come back in again. So
Well,
the
coil them
hands
up.
could be right in front of your face.
Coil
them up. Oh, I suppose.
Would they be like a snake though? Like like Mr. Tickle's arms. They would be. Would they be more? Because a snake can, just they wouldn't be like spaghetti. Because like that would be really bad. Like they'd be useless then, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
I think-
Yeah. They've got some muscle in them, I guess, rather than spaghetti.
Because he can
Like,
pick
it's-
things up. We've seen that. I mean, it's canon that he can pick things up. So
I think also to take it into perspective, if your legs are as short as ET's, your arms would just seem naturally longer than normal anyway. But not really. But they would seem that way. But like, just imagine trying to wipe your ass and everything, where you got to like fling it out for 5 seconds, wait to get to the end, and then like bring it back in, and then you slap yourself in the face. Oh Christ, I can't control this.
You dip your elbow in the loo water, trying to get your hand. It's like no one needs it. No one.
I mean, granted though, when you've got a blocked toilet, it'll be pretty handy. You know, just get it all in there, get it all the way down.
wow.
And there's just no advantages to the ET legs, are there?
No one
but at
asks
least
you
you-
to get stuff down from high shelves.
No.
Yeah.
So...
No one asked me to do that anyway.
Yeah, I was going to say, what are the advantages of being your size? It makes my life easier coming up with a thing to introduce him as on the podcast. That's the advantage as far as I can see it.
But if he had those arms, you'd just be picking on that the whole time. So
yeah, it would be. Yeah.
At least I'd be able to punch him from here, though. Even though we're on scene, bang, punch Yorkshire with them bad boys.
As your arm gets run over by some cars going up the M1. It's a disaster. This is Loose Dads from Dadsnet. That's how we're finishing it, talking about Mr. Tickle Arms. Why not? Right.
And none of us said testicle.
No.
And I genuinely thought someone was going to slip up at some point there.
There was a lot of anal, though, on tonight's podcast. There was a lot.
A lot of tickle, a lot of anal.
As ever.
Get out of that one, Jim.
You can support us at patreon.com/loosedads if you want more tickle and anal. It's, that's where you can go. Do it.
We're back to the
also-
OnlyFans thing, aren't we?
You can watch us every Tuesday night, do this at 8:30 and see the exasperated expressions on my face as we hear about robot sheep anuses. We could do that on like the Dad's Net Facebook and all the places that I mentioned earlier. Just go back a little bit and just listen to what I said then. Also, it comes out soon after on the audio platforms, and we really would love you to leave us a review if you can, and also to tell someone about this podcast because it helps us grow the podcast. And we'll be back next week. Thank you very much to Brad.
Thank you very much, guys. It's been awesome.
Thank you to Jack.
Oh, knight to E4.
Thank you to Sparky.
Thanks, boys.
Thank you to Connor. Thank you to Paul. Thank you to Jen. Thank you to all of the people who've got in contact today as well and got involved with the show. We are back next week. See you then. It's Loose Dads.
Loose Dads, a Dad's Net original podcast.